replacing it with dirt. And then, no. So we're allowed to call it dirt when it gets on the floor, on the tables. But once it's in the bucket and we are going to plant with it, it is soil. Use the terms appropriately, please, okay? One time that I had some young ladies came like 3 years in a row with a homeschool group, and they had T-shirts made saying, "It's not dirt, it's soil." It's just my funness. It's, you know, it's not me preaching. It's, you know, oh my God, what a witch she is. It's not. It's just fun, and it's respect. It's respect. First of all, who is brand new? Who's never been to with me?
Don't be shy.
That's all right. Yeah, good. Yeah, thanks for coming. Are you here today, cousin? Just to make a planter. I'm Tina Bemis from Bemis Farms Nursery out in Spencer. I've been teaching container gardening classes now at the nursery for 21 years. Take a wild guess how many classes I taught last year. I need 3 guesses. Holler them out. 210? 300? 500? 350. Taught 350 classes last year. I probably taught about 330 of them myself. And my assistants helped me with about 20 of them. Because sometimes I just get double booked. That's by Christmas time in particular. I love it. But I have to figure out how to do it and continue to do the job because I'm the grower. And I was up at the greenhouse watering this morning, actually watering in the greenhouse at this time of the year. It consists of turning a dial. It's actually kind of nice because we've reached the point where if in doubt, we water. And everything in the greenhouse, when I look at it, I say, all right, this mostly all needs water. We're going to turn on the automatic irrigation and it will all get watered. And if there's something like succulents that don't need as much water, I try and keep those in the 4 corners that the sprinklers don't reach them quite as much. Or I'll hand water the driest things to make it through a whole day and then everything will get it tomorrow. But it's actually, March is actually harder because in March I can't overwater. So we have to do a lot more hand watering. I went up there to grab your plants today. And I went to turn the water from one side of the greenhouse onto the other side and it didn't work. I go down to Ed, my husband, I said, is there a reason why the water doesn't work? And he said, no. I said, well, it doesn't. My nephew is renovating our old house, and our old house has the well, and he turned off the water, and that feeds the whole nursery. I said, did you explain the gravity of the situation? I said, now you get to turn on the water while I'm gone. So, which it's not hard, but you know, one more thing, but it's just a million things to do. And this is 2 of 3 classes for me today. That's how we do 350 a year. So what we're going to do is, I think I can do this from start to finish, to tell you what's going on, and probably stop in the middle once. Lisa, I will have you go around now. Why don't you give everybody one of these guys? 1, 2, 3, there's a 4th tray. This will be there. All right, so this is a very tightly run ship. We don't want seniors tripping or anything. So Lisa and I will bring things for you. Don't do it, you'll fill your pot, but you're going to get 2 pots that are this size. Here. So if you filled your pot all the way up to the top, when the time comes, not now, you see how much room that's going to take up, plus some other things. So I think what we'll do, when I say so, is have you fill your pot just to that top, that line, the top line, not yet, the top line. And to tell you what, would you do me a favor? I'm going to let you fill that to the top line for me right now. And I'm going to use yours as the sample. All right, who's taken container garden classes with me? All right, so you have to know, quiz time, the 4-step system for creating a container garden. Creepers, did somebody say that was close? Thrillers, chillers, fillers, and spillers. So if you're making a container garden, it doesn't matter that you can't say Petunia ex hybrida, or she's handing out Lobelia irinus, and this is Antirrhinum major, and this is Senecio, and this is Viola ex Whitrockiana. Are you all impressed? Yes. That's my Cornell training there, the Latin names. I remember one time they taught us Ceratostigma pumbaginoides right before Thanksgiving break, so that we could go home and say that at Thanksgiving dinner and impress our families upon the high tuitions that they were putting out. You don't need to know that we're going to use some petunias today, or snapdragons, or lobelia. You just need to know what they do. And out at my nursery, we spend the time to separate the plants into those 4 things: thrillers, chillers, fillers, spillers. So if you go in and you say to yourself, well, I kind of like this color scheme, and there's 3 different color schemes that you can pick from. Monochromatic, which is one color, monochromatic. There is a harmonious color scheme, which is colors that are close to each other on the color wheel. Normally there's 2, the warm colors, orange, yellow, and red, that make you think of fire, and blue, pink, green, lavender, that make you think of ice. So fire and ice. Or there's the 3rd color scheme is a complementary color scheme, that's opposites on the color wheel. So blue and orange, red and green, purple and yellow. Purple and yellow is the Easter color. Red and green is Christmas, and orange and blue is close to orange and black, which is Halloween. So you kind of know which color scheme you like. So you say, all right, I'm going to make a harmonious pink and blue color scheme, which happens to be what I brought you today, because that's what most ladies like. Not all, but that's most. So all right, I'm gonna do a harmonious color scheme with the pinks and blues. And then I need to start with 1 thriller. The thriller is the upright plant that adds pizzazz, and we're going to use a snapdragon today as our thriller. The chiller is the really cool foliage plant that acts as a focal point and gives the eye a place to pause. And that is our Dusty Miller today, silver. And then fillers are, I brought 2 different pansies, thank you. Pansy and viola here. And plants can be more than 1. So we're also going to use the petunias, which is a filler spiller, because it goes up and it goes down. And the same with the blue lobelia. It's a filler spiller. So when you design this pot, have you filled one for me? Yes, wonderful. I'll give it back, I promise. All right. So maybe I will. I'm going to grab. You can give it 1 of these 6 packs of each of these on every table. This worked out really well with 8 tables today, because I brought 8 things in many cases. The snapdragon, if you are a symmetrical person, and you're going to see this pot from all the same directions, this will go in the middle. And then everything else will just go around. There's no wrong way. But I like to do one-sided arrangements. Just, I don't know, most of the time they're right in front of the house. When you're walking out of the house, you're not really looking at it. You're on your way going where you're going. But you want it to look good from the road, I think. No point in making it look good from the backside. It's kind of like the Last Supper. Michelangelo, right? He painted the Last Supper. I'm not wrong, right? No, it's a Da Vinci. Who? Da Vinci. Yeah, see, Da Vinci. So painted my Renaissance painters. Da Vinci. When you look at the painting of the Last Supper, why are all of the apostles sitting on the same side of the table? So they can be in the picture. Same thing with this container, guys. So I'm going to design my way, one-sided. I don't care what you do, and it's all going to grow in together anyway, so it doesn't matter. Even if you walk out the door, sometimes you walk out the door, I have to say, I'll get you. Is that your hand raised? Oh, you're just hanging out with a hand up in the air. It's not going to look perfect right now. Give it 2 weeks. The reason I brought you expensive plants today. I didn't want to do it, but because I have to watch my budget, you know. But I never know. There's going to be some things that are a little bit further ahead than I want them to be, and these petunias and these lobelias are a little bit further ahead than I want them to be. And I said, well, they need to go in a pot right now. And today is your lucky day. So I did that. And that helps me. That's one of the reasons why I teach 350 classes. That helps me say, oh my God, you know, I need everything to be sold at the exact perfect stage. And if this is not going to be perfect in 10 days when we're going to have lots more customers, then let's get them in a pot now. So we're going to do my style, which is the thriller in the back on the left, just because I always do it that way. And it works. It's a formula. It works. And the chiller in the front on the right. Dusty Miller in the front on the right. And you can even tilt it out a little bit. I like to use the square footage that's outside the pot as well. I have a guy, Conrad. Conrad takes classes with me, and he wants it to look good walking out the door. And so he always takes the plants and kind of pushes them inward so that the pot is full when it leaves. I take the plants and I push them outwards, and it looks a little stupid for 3 days until they turn and start to fill in, and my pot looks bigger than his faster because I'm not afraid to use this square footage here. We got that, we got that. One of these on each one, and then one of these on each one here. All right, so thriller, chiller, fillers, spillers. We're gonna have to have a choice, or it's, you know what? Maybe it's not your choice. That might be a little too challenging, because I looked at the bench, and these guys hadn't gone out yet, and they were really, really, really starting to get big. And I was going to go get you a wave petunia from the smaller waves. And these were just starting to just really get huge. And I said, you know what? This is a double pink. And I really want these, but until this comes into bloom. Now we think this is allergies, this cough of mine. I see an allergist in 2 weeks. I've been on pills for 15 years. I needed these to get in a pot right away. So, but I only had 20 of them. So I said, what else? So that's a double pink. A double pink means there's flowers all the way to the center. And we sell a bazillion of these at the nursery. It's called Night Sky. And it's like stars in the sky. I guess what we can do is take a tray of each and walk around, and you may or may not get what you want. It's going to be, nobody's going to get mad, right? Because they're both pretty. As we go around, we'll see which one you want, and if you get which one you want, you do, and if you don't,
You can bargain with your neighbor.
yeah. So these guys are going to spread. So these can go in the middle, and you're going to get one petunia, and then your one lobelia that's already on the table, and then just put your 2 pansies in the opening. after those are all in, if you need a little bit more soil, you can get it out of the bucket. But don't fill it all the way to the top, because you need a place for the water to go. You also don't need to mess up the roots. They're going to grow right into the soil, so it's bad. It's bad to do that. Because we do it in the fall sometimes in order to cram enough plants in, but all you're doing is ruining the roots. It doesn't help the plant to break up the roots. There's as many ways as to grow plants as there are growers. So some of you who are older than me might be saying to yourself, what's that whippersnapper? I didn't notice I didn't say young whippersnapper because I'm not young. But what's that whippersnapper saying? I've been doing it that way for 70 years and they haven't died since. No, they haven't, that you've not done a blind test next to mine, that you didn't mess up the roots with. So I just don't like to play with the roots, because if you play with the roots, you break them, and they need them.